Live Compelled podcast. This is Nate Ellerton, and I'm in my shop with our incredible summer intern, Cole Murphy. Welcome to the shop.
Thank you. It's a nice shop, nice place to be.
It's a nice shop, isn't it?
Yeah, I can smell every type of wood.
You smell wood, smell incense. You know why I burn incense, don't you?
Mm-mm.
When Michelangelo carved, he burned incense. And look at his stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, you'll be just as good.
Well, I was hoping anything would help. But Cole Murphy is with us, and Cole and his family attend Compelled and has for a while. But in this series of stories, I'm just getting all sorts of people from all walks of life to tell us their story, what God is showing them, how they came to Christ, what they're doing now. And so, Cole, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Cole Murphy. I'm 21 years old, turned 21 in January, and I attend North Point College. It used to be North Point Bible College. And yeah, I'm going into my senior year after this summer. I'm excited for that. Yeah, I'm into a couple things. I'm into I play a lot of pickleball.
Yeah,
been playing a lot of
good
pickleball.
at pickleball.
Yeah. Well, you and Pastor Matt, pastors of disaster.
Yeah,
last
we beat
summer.
you.
Yeah, you guys were good.
We didn't hit it to you, though.
No. That would have been a mistake.
That was the strategy.
Yeah.
It's like, keep it away from Cole, no matter what.
Yep.
Pickleball's pretty fun.
Yeah, so I've been playing that. Need to pick it back up again this summer. You're a wrestler.
Yeah.
I know that. I'm an arm wrestler.
You're an arm wrestler. You only use one arm.
Yeah.
I had to use my whole body. It's so more challenging.
Yours is much more manly, but that's all right.
Well, that was a long time ago.
To each their own, I guess.
Do you won any arm wrestling like tournaments?
Yeah. I've won a few. My right arm's a lot better.
Like what? What tournament?
Well, they have these local tournaments. Usually they're at little bars.
Yeah.
And the restaurants will kind of sponsor it, and then you get little winnings from that.
Yeah.
So I've won a couple locals. They have pretty big state tournaments.
What do you win? Like a plate of chicken wings or something? Like what do you win?
Sometimes nothing. Sometimes a medal. Sometimes a mug. Sometimes a pint of beer, but I don't drink.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's great.
Yeah.
And you're junior, right?
Yep. Going into my senior year. Just finished up
you're
junior
going
year.
into your senior year. What then?
Yeah. What then?
What's your major?
I'm not sure. My major is in practical theology. It's a ministry leadership degree. Mm-hmm. And then the minor is going to be in biblical languages.
Oh, you're doing some biblical languages, huh?
Yeah. So we finished up Hebrew last year. All my junior year was Hebrew. And then this coming year, my senior year, will be Greek.
Yeah.
You know
what I remember in my Hebrew classes?
What's that?
Shalom. That's about
Shalom. Yeah.
Yahweh. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult language going backwards.
Oh yeah, they read the wrong direction. It's unbelievable, really.
Yeah. Hebrew was terrifying for me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Greek.
Yeah. Greek flows a little better.
I've heard that.
It's closer to our dialect.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So, and plus, if you get Logos, you don't even have to learn it. You just put your cursor over it and it does all of it.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I have to learn it.
Yeah.
But now I know what all the words on Logos means.
So when I took my master's degree, our Hebrew teacher learned Hebrew in Jerusalem. He lived there for years.
That's real.
And so he had us. The class went down to just two guys, me and this other guy. Just emptied out when we got into Hebrew. And I was getting ready to quit. And so I called him up to tell him I was going to quit. This is no joke. Dr. McLean, if you're listening, you're brilliant. I called Dr. McLean. Hello, Dr. McLean. Hey, Dr. McLean, this is Nate. Hey, Nate, I'm so glad you called, man. I'm looking forward to Hebrew on Tuesday night. I know it's going to be great. It's pretty hard, a lot of study. Hey, I got to go by. And he hung up on me because he knew I was calling to quit.
It's a good man.
So he had us in Hebrew. We had to teach him, Dr. Hebrew Scholar McLean, Jonah 1 and 2. And then my partner had to teach 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
we're not that good.
Oh, it's just, I can't remember any of that. It was terrifying.
I
was sweating.
Oh, it's such a hard language.
So scared. But how fun it is. Levi loves Hebrew. He loves Hebrew.
He was the first one to show me the letters down in his Calvin housing.
Yeah, down in the Calvin basement.
Yep.
He loves Hebrew.
Yeah, he's good.
It's a beautiful language. I wish I would have time to really get into it. And so you're gonna learn biblical languages. You're gonna have that as a minor. What do you think's going to go on a year from now when you walk down the aisle at North Point College and you're graduated with a Bachelor of Arts?
Yeah.
What then?
I mean, I'm open to anything. I really am. I think I have a few options. I think there will be plenty of ministry opportunities coming out of North Point, so I'm staying open to those. I mean, youth pastors are needed everywhere. Kids pastors are needed everywhere.
Yep.
Even administration stuff is just, I mean, churches need it.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I really want to keep open, and why I work pretty hard in school, is to keep open the academic track. Like, I love teaching, I love learning, and I would love to be a teacher, be a professor somewhere. And that's a long way down the line, but that would kind of be like the end goal if I do the academics.
So you'd have to go back, get a master's,
get
a doctorate.
Yep.
You know what I said when I got my master's degree?
What's that?
I said I'm never going back to school. People are like, "You going to get your doctorate?" I'm like, "No."
You could. What's your degree?
My master's degree is in theology, Master of Arts in Theological Studies with a focus in biblical languages.
You really do know your biblical languages.
I wish I could say I do. I paid to know them. I knew them once, but yeah. But at least this is what Dr. McLean said. Remember this, Cole. When you get your master's degree, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know where to find everything.
It's good advice.
Yeah. So I don't know it all, but I know how to get to it. Yeah.
Computers.
So years ago, your family started attending our church. How did you find Christ, Cole? How did Jesus get into your life? And then I want to talk to you. How did you decide from there to go to Bible college, to go into the ministry? But first, how'd you find Jesus? Like, how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, I definitely had some seeds planted from a young age. I was in a Lutheran school from, I think, 1st to 5th grade.
What school?
It was called Trinity Lutheran in Monroe, Michigan.
Okay, yeah.
And honestly, I don't think the experience was bad or anything, especially as I look back now. But, when you're in 5th grade, 1st through 5th grade, you're not really too concerned about religion, whatever. You take the classes and you learn all the factual information. But there was definitely no heart commitment to Christ.
Okay.
And I definitely did not know the Lord, especially not as I do now. I knew of him, but as I got older, I switched schools, went to public school, and that's kind of when I really fell away. Definitely had nothing to do with God. And then probably about 15, 16, going on 17 years old, there was a really big mental health thing that just went on with me. It was like panic attacks, anxiety that you could not imagine. It was just so weird. And I remember the anxiety was so bad that a medical professional had told me that, and we can't even count these as anxiety attacks because it's just chronic. Like, you're in an anxiety attack the whole time, like all day. That's what's happening.
You were in 5th grade?
This was going past then. This was probably 15 years old now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So no faith.
Scary.
In public school. Wasn't involved in the church. Definitely not saved. And, that mental health thing really pushed me to find the Lord. And I wish I could say it was that simple, but there were catalysts in my life. My dad had always been pretty religious. He grew up in the church. And one of those big catalysts was one of my friends named Camden, who's I actually go to college with now. And we've pretty much been lifelong friends. But as I was going to public school, he was in high school with me. And it was really good to see his faith. And that's really what pushed me. It was Camden. It was the combination of mental health, growing up in the Lutheran school, the seeds planted throughout my whole life, my dad's faith, and that all just kind of came together 15, 16 years old, and I gave my life to Christ.
Wow. You gave your life to Christ when?
Where? in my basement. In my
Mhm.
basement, it was after a car ride with Camden, and I just broke down crying, just thinking about spiritual matters.
Mhm.
And he ministered to me, and he dropped me off back at my house, and I went down to my basement that night and gave my heart to the Lord.
So Camden and Regal had that incredible influence on your life.
Oh yeah, huge impact. I mean, he was. Yeah, I went to Ida High School. He was probably the only really devout Christian in my class that
Mhm.
I can think of today.
Wow,
So
that's incredible.
yeah.
And so you gave your life to Jesus in your basement all by yourself?
Yep. Yep. I'm not even sure if anybody knew besides Camden, to be honest.
Jesus knew.
Jesus knew. But for a couple of months, it was, I think, just me and Jesus.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So when did you tell your folks?
I think I really didn't say that. I didn't like go up to my mom one day and say, "Hey, I'm a Christian now." But
Yeah.
I think I just slowly started like talking about God
Mhm.
and like trying to just subtly bring it up real
Mhm.
discreetly. And eventually we just got into church. I knew Camden went to Compelled. So I was like, oh, let's check this out. And we loved it. I think the first Saturday night we were at, there was an altar call.
Mhm.
And yeah, I went up, not for salvation, but just for prayer.
Mhm.
And that experience just stuck with me. And I just kept coming back to Compelled, got involved in youth group.
Mhm.
Pastor Dusty just poured a ton of effort into me.
Mhm.
You did as well, even as high school.
Mhm.
Um, letting me hang out in the woodshed and talking with me a couple times. And yeah, Pastor Dusty in the youth ministry was amazing. I mean, I don't even know where I would be if I didn't get involved with Compelled in their youth group.
Yeah. Dusty's a gift, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's awesome. And just fast forward a few years down the road, and by this time next year, you could be moving to your first church as where God has you. How did you decide? I know we throw this word around sometimes out of context. Called. How did you decide you were called to do this with your life?
Yeah, it's interesting you asked that, and how they're often separated. Like you get saved, and then you get called to ministry. I don't think those were separate experiences for me.
Mhm.
The moment I got saved, I knew that, man, this is my life. This is going to be my work.
Mm.
When I got saved, it was so extreme that I didn't think it was possible to be a devout Christian and not do ministry full time.
Mhm.
And now, of course, I think there was definitely some ignorance there.
Sure.
And I see amazing, faithful Christians working just everyday jobs and not necessarily being working in a church position. But I see now, or I saw then, I didn't see that distinction.
Yeah.
That, as soon as I got saved, I knew I had to do this as my career.
Yeah.
And I'm still on that track now, and I hope the Lord equips me to do so.
You were completely wrong. I mean, whether you are vocationally in ministry, like working in a church or a nonprofit or as a missionary, but every Christian is called to full-time ministry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we are ministers. You don't need a reverend in front of your name for that.
Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah, so it's really great. And so how did you hear about North Point?
North Point did some recruiting at Compelled, and I went to the camps with Pastor Dusty, and also being around the Grand Rapids area. There's a big church up there, Grand Rapids First,
Mhm.
and they do a lot of recruiting and everything. So yeah, North Point's name was just kind of everywhere in the Assemblies of God, which is pretty impressive because they're quite a small school.
Mhm.
But they got their name out there really well. Your son did the recruiting, actually. So yeah, Levi was probably the first time I actually ever heard the name.
Mhm.
And I think North Point's worship band did some shows at Compelled and the retreats.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were just everywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely how they reach people. That's how they reach me.
Yeah, that's good. And so your whole family attend Compelled. You guys all came together, or you came once and said, this church is pretty cool, and then you all came on a Saturday night?
Yeah, the first time we did all come together, I never went by myself.
Okay.
But my parents were just really supportive, and I think they wanted to get back into the faith as well.
Mhm.
And when they saw their son get back with the Lord, that was their cue to, man, I got to get back on track in my faith as well.
Awesome.
So it all came together.
So we were at a large church conference. I was a few weeks ago, and all the churches that were there have 1,000 or more. And we were talking about how difficult it is to find staff people, and we're even taught on how to begin to get pastors, future missionaries, future youth pastors in the pipeline, starting like 4th and 5th grade, because there's just not that many high school students in Bible college anymore that are specifically going for full-time ministry. And in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be a real difficult time getting staff people. So as far as you having job security, there's a place for you.
That's true.
I get called a couple times a month. And do you know anybody, Nate, who's looking, and they'll be away. But you could have made a lot more money, Camden, or that's called you. Talking about Camden, Cole. Like, you did 4 years of school. If you did 4 years of engineering school, you'd come out making 60 to 100,000.
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't even really see it as a sacrifice. But I guess it is. But no, I think God provides.
But there's so many young people your age, and the only reason they're picking occupations is because of how much they can make when they get out.
Yeah, and I don't think they'll be very happy.
They won't be happy.
No.
Not everybody's called to be a vocational pastor or whatever, but we're all called to seek God's face and what he would want us to do.
Yeah, and to me, it seems like the best of both worlds. Like, we're all called to full-time ministry. If you're a Christian, if you're saved, you're called to full-time ministry.
Right.
And if you get paid to do that and you find a career in that, then that's a win-win.
I love some of the young people of our church that they really did pray and seek God about going to Bible college. Some went for a year or two, and they're in the trades, or they graduate and they're in business, or they're engineers, and they're doing small groups, and they're working with the youth on Monday nights, and they're helping, with children's ministry. Like, they're involved. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're here with us beginning of the summer. What are you looking forward to this summer as being an intern at Compelled Church?
I'm excited for those week-long events that I get to spend with students. I'll be going to the camps, or one of the camps with Pastor Dusty for the youth kids. And I'll be helping out with the kids on Sundays. And the big one is going to be a mission trip. I believe Dusty's taking some of his students to Missouri.
Right.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. What are you guys going to do in Missouri?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I have no clue. But it's going to be a blast.
You're going to be working at Convoy of Hope. I'll just fill that in for you. I like your attitude. You don't know what it is, but you know it's going to be a blast.
Oh, yeah. I heard it's going to be a blast.
So, what's the Lord doing in your heart right now, Cole? What have you been reading? What's the Lord doing? What's he speaking to you? What's he inviting you to next?
Well, I just started that book that you gave me. Actually, Eugene Peterson, A Long Obedience.
Oh, yeah. That's Long Obedience in the Same Direction by Eugene Peterson. Should be required reading for everybody that calls Jesus Lord.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty good. And that's saying a lot because I'm not a big reading guy. But
well, you should be. You're in third year of college. You're doing a lot of reading lately.
Yeah, Bible college is a lot of reading the Bible.
Yeah. And I know you're also reading Lead with Prayer.
Yes.
Getting ready for our staff one-day retreat next week.
Yep.
It'll be exciting.
I'll have that done by May 20th for you.
Good job.
Yep.
You. It's for you, actually.
A Long Obedience. I think one of the main things that was kind of convicting about it so far was just the idea of service, and that there's nothing considered mundane or like how we split it into like grunt work.
Right.
I think those are like those are bad categories when you start splitting things into, oh man, I'm above this. And I think that's unhealthy. And that's one of the things that Peterson pointed out in his book, that, you're never above doing the mundane. You're never above doing the grunt work. And that was convicting because, especially as I've done multiple internships and, you're an intern, you're trying to learn. So it helps me get into that attitude of someone trying to learn while also participate in ministry.
Good. I like, I don't think it's Eugene Peterson, maybe it was Henry Nuance said, we all like serving until we're treated like a servant.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And so you'll have a lot of opportunities to serve in all sorts of ways. Wow.
Right.
It's good. Well, Cole, we're looking forward to having you this summer and seeing what God's going to be doing in your life a year from now, where you're going to go and land. But I'm confident you'll be seeking the Lord and continuing to grow, and you're going to have a great senior year.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Let me know if you know of any master's programs.
Well, I do know some master's programs.
Some good ones.
No, they're all bad.
Yeah.
No, of course they're good. The one I did is no longer in existence. It was, we had an extension to Detroit from Heritage Theological Seminary in Cambridge, Ontario. And just incredible. It was just pretty incredible. Yeah, just life-changing for me.
It's awesome.
It was pretty hard, though, with 3 kids and a growing church. I did that every Tuesday night from 6 to 10:30 for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm glad I did it.
Hopefully I won't be as busy.
Yeah. Well, if you do it younger, but Wendy really supported me through that church, so it was pretty great. Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, if you get an opportunity to share this with a friend and subscribe to the Live Compelled podcast and whatever is hosting your podcast, that would be awesome. And share this with somebody. Maybe you know of a young person praying about God's will for their life. Maybe you know Cole or Camden. Share it with them, and that would be great. So keep living compelled by God's love. Any parting words, Cole?
Nope.
All right.
Love the Lord.
Amen. God bless.